So in this video, we're gonna talk about interfaces, how we can use them to communicate between two blueprints. Doesn't matter what is the type of blueprint. We wanna communicate between them, right? The interfaces is the more optimized way to do it. So let's see how we can do that. In here, I have a third person template. You can see nothing added in here, and Max sent me some static meshes, for example a button and a generator. Whenever we, for example, go close to this button, we want to tell this generator to be on, right? So now for doing that, in here I want to right click, go to blueprint and create actor for our button. For example, I want to call it BP button, BP for blueprint button. Double click on it to open it. In here I want to add a static mesh to it, right? So add a static mesh. The static mesh that we want to use is button, right? So let's just put it there. That's it. Now let's just do one blueprint for generator. So right click in here, create a blueprint of type of actor, and in here I want to call it BP generator. Okay, double click on it and add a static mesh in here as well, static mesh. And for the static mesh, I want to use the generator that Max sent me, right? That's it. Now let's just compile, save, and go to our level. In here, we want to put a button in our level, right? So let me bring it up, rotate it by 90 degree and put it on the wall like this. And we have a generator as well, so let's just put it there. That's it. Now what we want to happen, we want whenever we go close to this button, it will send a message to the generator, so the generator will be on, right? So for doing that, there is lots of way for doing that. First of all, you can do it with find all classes, right? And with that, cast it to BP generator and turn it on. And it is okay because this turning on generator won't happen 60 times per second. It will happen just once during your game. So it is okay if you want to use casting, but this time we want to use interfaces. So for doing that, I want to go and open up the BP button in here. I want to create a collision, right? A sphere collision, for example. I want to make it bigger like this. So whenever player collide with it, it will turn on the generator. With that, we can go to event graph, click on our collision box in here, and we can go down. And on component begin overlap, first let's just use a printer string to see if it's working or not, and get the other actor name. For example, it will get the display name of our actor, right? Let's just compile, save, and run to see if it's working fine or not. If you get close to the button, and you can see it showed the name. What I want to do in here, I want to use a cast to see if the player is colliding with that collision box or not. Not a projectile, for example. We want to check that it is exactly the player. So in other actor, I want to cast it to third person character, right? If the cast succeeded, we know that it is the player that is colliding with it, right? So with that, let's just check it with another printer string in here. And in here, I just want to say player collide with button. And now let's just run. If we go close to the button, it should say player collide with the button. That's it. Now we know it's working, right? Now we want to see whenever this happen, how we can communicate with the generator, right? So for doing that, inside the generator, we need to create our interfaces, right? We need to add our interfaces, right? But right now we don't have any interfaces. For doing that, I want to right click in here, go to blueprint, and in here create a blueprint interface. And I want to call it BPI for blueprint interfaces generator, okay? And double click on it to open it. And in here, you can see we can create some function by hitting add in here, right? We can create some function. So for example, in here, I want to rename this function to change power state. either turn it on or off. And for the input, I want to add a boolean. So for example, if we pass false, it means we want to turn off the generator. If we pass true, we want to turn on the generator. So in here, I want to call it power, right? No, let's just hit compile, save. We want to go to our BP generator. In class setting, in the interfaces, we want to implement that interface that we create together, BPI generator. Now with adding that, you can see in interfaces in here, we have the function that we called it change power state. Double click on it to open it, and it will create a event for us, right? So no, what I want to do, I want to use a branch on this power branch, and in here, I want to use a print string, okay? If it is true, we want to say generator is on, and let's just give it a color of green, and I want to copy and paste it with Control C, Control V, and this time we want to tell it that it is off, right? And we want to change the color to red. That's it. But just with that, just with implementing this interface inside our generator, it won't do anything unless we tell it to happen, right? So whenever the player collide with this button, we want to tell the generator to be on. So for doing that, first thing, we need to find the generator, right? And for doing that, there is lots of way. For example, I can just in here search for all classes, get all actor of a class, right? So if I click in here, I can choose the BP generator, right? And it will find it for us. It will give us an array of all the generators, but we don't want that to happen. What we want to do, we want to go to our BP generator, go to class default, and in here search for tag. Either you can do it in here, but if you want to have multiple instances of this generator, it's better to go to our level, and in the instance of our generator, just click on it, and in here search for tag and add the tag in here. For example, I want to tell this is gen01, right? So we can have multiple one. I want to copy this tag, make sure you save. Go to button in here, no, and in here what we want to do, we want to get all actor with the tag, and the tag we did copy it, use Control V to paste it in here. Again, it will give us an array, and in here with this array we can just get the first copy, we can get the first element. We just search for get, and this will give us the only one that is exist inside our level, right? So now with that, we have the generator, right? Because we put a tag in there. We can just use our function that we implement in interfaces, right? What it's called, if I go here, it's called change power state. And in here, make sure you compile, save, and drag and drop from here. Make sure you disable this context sensitive. Just search for power, for example, and choose change power state, right? Change power state is just a message, and we want to say turn it on, right? No, let's just test that out. If we compile, save, and run, if we go close to the button, no, you can see it is saying generator is on, and this print string is happening in our generator, so we are communicating between them. Now what I want to do, we want to click on this sphere and tell it when we end our lap with this button, right? Again, we want to cast it, so we make sure that it is our player, and connect the other actor here, and we want to copy and paste all of these to here, right? So let's just connect it like this, and the tag is okay, everything is okay, but we want to turn off the generator. So let's just compile, save, and run our game. And now if we get close to the button, let's see what will happen. It says generator is on, and if we get out of that sphere, it will say generator is off, generator is on, and generator is off. The next step is to, whenever our player collide with that collision box, don't turn the generator on. Wait for the player to hit E on their keyboard, and after that turn it on, right? That is the next step.